Welcome back to ShopDog-Garage. I believe this is going to wind up being a random and interesting video. I think we're at a point where it is time to yank this carburetor and rebuild it. So, this is the 70 and what I think is 70 and a half or whatever they want to call it that Harlan's got. And it's not slated for restoration for a while. But one of the things that Harlan likes to do, and you can't fault a guy here, is he likes to drive the cars before restoring them, you know, if they drive. And find out what he does and doesn't like about them. Find out what changes he does want to make. It's kind of not a bad thing. Kind of like this. He drove it around for a couple years, deciding exactly what he wanted to do. It's not a bad idea. So, I'm pretty sure that's the first thing on my list. Let's get that going. Unfortunately, that 2GC is, well, actually, I don't even know if it's a 2GC or a Verijet or what it is. We bought a Universal Rochester rebuild kit. So, we'll get that pulled, cleaned up. I know it has no accelerator pump. Not uncommon. Now, this one's new enough it wouldn't be a leather cup. It would have been some kind of plastic, but it's been sitting a long time. So, we'll get that pulled and cleaned up. Don't know how long that takes. If, and it's a big if we have time, we might just do a temp mount on a seat in the 55, not the 57, in order to see what that clutch feels like. Harlan's starting to get a little nervous about that. Okay, we got a little light on the subject. And I know since it needs an accelerator pump, we could do it in the car. But what we're going to do is pull the fuel off, pull the kicker, well, unplug the kicker, pull the line here, pull the choke, get the throttle off there, get the return spring and the kick down lever off, and then pull the line for the brake, pop it off the base, take it out, and then we can give it a really good once-over inspection and clean up. It's just going to be easier. Okay, these little clips that kind of go here, you just kind of pull it up and then it slides. So, I'll move the light so you guys can see how that tab goes. I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully that helps. Let's see, there's a little lock right there. So see, that tab now can't slide down. Well, if you pop that little lock so that it can slide by, there you go. And like everything on a carburetor, keep everything sorted. And the only bolt that's hard to get at, of course, is the one underneath all of that. So we've got her out. I don't know the last time she ran, so I don't know if she's full of gas, but you can see two little barrels. So let's get her into some light, get her apart, get her clean, get her rebuilt. Okay, and I've been taking pictures as we go, putting stuff in a logical sense, getting ready to pull this guy off the choke, and then we should be able to take the air horn off and work our way down. Okay, we've got her apart a little bit, enough to start taking notes for myself. For starters, this gasket's ambidextrous, so that's good to note. Hopefully, we can get it off of here with no damage. It looks like we can. But you can see the wear pattern from age, but the way the holes are stamped, you could put it here or here. By being clever where they mounted those, the gasket works both ways. Do not destroy or get rid of gaskets. You're going to use that to match them up. The kit's going to have a couple gaskets that look so similar and aren't. It's just the way these things go. This is our accelerator pump. She doesn't feel perfect here, but we're going to be replacing it. Obviously that is, boy, this float feels a little gummy. We'll have to check how that goes. And then you can look, There really is only one way for this gasket to go on because of its shape. That's important. The base gasket will be that way. And then for the boosters and the emulsion tubes, that gasket is also ambidextrous. Just stuff to keep note of. And then we're just cleaning, because this carburetor is pretty clean. We're cleaning one piece at a time, being very gentle. We're not going to dip it. You know, it's not that gummed up. And use a nice soft bristle. You can see how much cleaner this is getting already. But we just want to clean all the passages, clean everything up, get rid of all the residue. Okay, we've got things pretty tidy. But here's the thing. Before you go opening a carburetor kit, make sure everything is actually in the box before you open that. And you know, a minute ago, all of this stuff was kind of laying over here and could have been lost. So, hey, look at that. I like these kind of needles. This is going to come out nice. We're real happy already. Okay, so we're in the adjust the float part. Looked on our specs. 25-30 seconds with gasket at this parting line. You can see we are there. So now we want to also check our float drop, which of course is this thing that you can't see. That'll be this one here. Our float drop is 1 5/8. So let's measure that. This is one of the most important things you can do when setting up your carburetors. Get the float correct. All right, accelerator pump's rebuilt, float set. We're getting closer to putting this guy together. I'm going to clean up the jets and get those put in. Or boy, this would run really rich. And then just remember, you don't got to go metal monkey here. It's just aluminum. So we're going to get all of the screws touching, and then we'll lightly torque them in a crisscross pattern. So this should go a lot better than what we had before. And just like that, she's ready to go back on the car. So I'll be right back. And just as easy as it came off, it went right back on. So he's getting ready to open this door. And we'll see if we can, one, get the carb to fill up, you know, because it's bone dry right now. So we'll go through that, get her started. It's probably not going to idle right. We're going to let it warm up a little bit, and then go ahead and do the timing, get the curb idle adjusted, you know, what, 650-ish, 700, and go from there. And then over the next few days when it's nice out, he can take it for a ride here and there and see what he thinks. Okay, it's going to take a minute to fill her up. Okay. Oh, apparently not that long. Huh. That was from an empty carb. So, okay, I got a few things I want to check. I want to check for accelerator pump and everything, so we'll be right back. 150. Okay, just letting her warm up a little bit. We've got her idling smooth enough, but as you can see, I think there's a little more in here. So we're going to get in here, clean her an eighth, wait a second, see that got worse. So I'm going to pull her back out that eighth, and then pull her out a different eighth. Okay, see that got a little better? I'm going to do the same thing to the other one, but you're not going to come with me because I'm not going to touch that fan. Okay, the bugs are starting to get bad, so I think we're pretty close. Let's go ahead and do a hot start. Should just be a one pedal and it should start. Okay, a no pedal and it starts. So, yeah, I think we got her pretty good. We're a little more advanced on the timing than we would have been. And yes, I know that that bearing is noisy. I don't care. That is not a long-term compressor. So, we don't care about that. Boy, that fan sure pushes some air. I felt it. So, alright. Well, this may not be a random video. This may be a 71 Camaro video. We'll find out. Okay. So now, his homework is pretty simple. Been driving around, tell me what he thinks. While also paying attention to what he thinks about how it handles, how things sit, what he doesn't like. You know, same thing we do with every car. But it is kind of nice when they drive. It's also just kind of neat to take them places and see how people react. So, and then this may now actually be the intro to the 71 Camaro, because I don't think we have a video series on this yet. So, giving you a quick rundown. You can see, unfortunately, it's not a tilt column yet. We're going to have to fix that. It is obviously an air conditioning car. So, yeah, this plate we can probably, should be able to, actually, I think that was actually a cubby. Yeah, that was a cubby. Obviously, when all this goes back together, it's going to look a little nicer than this. But everything is here, and that's always a good start. You know, it's worn, but it's here. Oh, no headliner, though. Hadn't noted that. So, it does need a headliner, but all of this is here. Because, unfortunately, unlike a first gen, there are some things on second gens that are harder to come by. So, yeah, and I imagine we'll go Dakota on the gauges. Just a guess. It's nice that it started as an AC car. And I would put dollars to donuts that when we're done, it's either a big block car or a modern motor swap car. Although, probably a big block in this one. He still has a few more. So, wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't a 496 when we're done with it. And I don't think he's planning to put a spoiler on this car. So one of the nice things, because it's, you know, the 70 and 71 style, you know, you still get the cool lights, you know, the big chunky feel on the C-pillar. No, it's, when it's done and this stupid hood is gone, whoever did that, it'll be a good looking car when it's done. Well, with that, I think we're going to call this closeout on the 71 Camaro video. So, we're still trying our new light, seeing what we think of that. One thing that was nice, it did not get hot. Tired of those yellow lights. I burned my face on one, and I am done with those halogens. We were just in playing with some seats in the 55, trying to get a feel for what he thinks about that clutch. Because the clutch you were willing to push 10 years ago and the clutch you're willing to push now are not always the same. Getting old, it turns out it's kind of pigeon poop. So, anyway, we're going to toss over to ShopRex. Thanks for watching. Always pay attention to what you're doing and where you can and can't fit. Sometimes you need a friend.